Alright guys, what is going on? Match reaction, Arsenal 0, Newcastle 2, and Newcastle take a massive leap into the Carabao Cup final. Obviously, we all know there is a second leg to play, but I just cannot see Arsenal coming back from that. I really can't. Obviously the second leg being at St James's Park in Newcastle, I just can't see Arsenal winning that game by 2 goals, to be honest. I really can't. I think Newcastle are in the final. I do. I think they're in the final. But, the one thing the Newcastle players can't do in the second leg is think that they're already in the final, because Arsenal need to bring it in that second leg because they're 2-0 down, But, Arsenal, let's touch on Arsenal first. Not good enough from Arsenal tonight. Not good enough, yes. Plenty of chances. But just not good enough. I think far too many crosses. Far too many crosses from Arsenal tonight, When it hit like the 70th minute to the 90th minute, so like 20 minutes remaining, all Arsenal were doing were crossing the ball. And I cannot imagine the frustration Arsenal fans are feeling right now because, yes, I understand why you're crossing the ball, because it can create danger, it can create havoc. But, Newcastle are a tall team. They're a tall defence. Dan Burn is a giant. Botman is tall. Dubravka, is good in the air. I think Dubravka had a good game today. Dubravka made a really good save to deny Gabriel. I also think from corners, Arsenal had a lot of corners in this game. I think they had 11 corners. And Dubravka just kept coming out for them and kept punching them away. Now, we haven't really seen that from Arsenal corners where the keepers come out and punch it. That's usually because the Arsenal players block the goalkeeper. Now, I'm not sure why Dubravka got to so many. Maybe the blocking just wasn't working for Arsenal tonight, but I thought Dubravka had a really good game. But yeah, going back to the crossing for the last 20 minutes, I just think that shows a sign of, I don't want to say tactical inept, but it shows that, I don't know how to phrase it. I don't want to call Arteta that he hasn't got tactics, because he has got tactics. He's shown he's got tactics. But when you're just lobbing the ball in time after time, it's just not going to work. Like, there's not one time where Arsenal tried a through ball, and tried to unlock the defence. They just kept crossing it in. And, that for Newcastle was amazing, because Newcastle was so comfortable at defending the crosses tonight. It was crazy how comfortable they were at defending them Arsenal crosses for the last 20 minutes. But yeah, 2-0 defeat for Arsenal. Is it going to be another season that Arteta doesn't win a trophy? I know they could still win the FA Cup, but they've got Manchester United in the FA Cup on Sunday. Now, that's going to be a difficult game if United play like they did against Liverpool. But yeah, and also they're in the Champions League, could still win the Premier League as well. But yeah, I think their Carabao Cup journey is done. I know there's another leg, but I just cannot see Arsenal rocking up to St James's Park and beating them 2-3-0. I just cannot see it. I can't see it. Newcastle are going to be so confident going into the second leg after that result. I know the second leg, I believe it's on the 5th of February, so we've got like a month. And, one of the teams could get a few injuries. But no, really good performance by Newcastle tonight. Really, really good away performance. Yes, they didn't have many chances. They had nowhere near as many chances as Arsenal. But the one thing Newcastle did tonight was they took their chances. When the chances came, they gobbled them up. And if you're an away team, that's what you got to do, because, most likely the home team is going to have more opportunity, more possession, because they've got the fans, with them. And you know, as the away team, you've got to take your opportunities because you're not going to get that many. And Newcastle did exactly that tonight. And that's how really I would phrase the game. Arsenal couldn't take their chances. Newcastle did. But yeah, big result for Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe obviously got to the Carabao Cup final. I think was it 2 seasons ago, where Manchester United beat them 2-0 in the final, if you remember. Goals from Rashford and Casemiro at Wembley on that day. So, you know, if Newcastle can get to another Carabao Cup final, which I think they will do now, I think they're going to be massive favourites to make the final, especially after that result, then I think they could win it. I think they could win it, you know. I think, you know, Liverpool Spurs play tomorrow. I mean, many people expect Liverpool to go through in that tie. So, you know, Newcastle Liverpool final is interesting. It is interesting. But, you know, just, yeah, really good performance by Newcastle today, you know, especially in that second half. You know, because that second half did get a bit nervy, I think, for the Newcastle fans. You know, if I'm a Newcastle fan sitting at home, which I'm not, I would have been very, very nervous because, you know, it wasn't comfortable. It wasn't a great watch for Newcastle in that last 20 minutes, but they got the job done. And really, Arsenal kind of played into Newcastle's strength, in my opinion. But yeah, let's talk about the chances. Let's talk about the goals. So yeah, Arsenal hit the post in the first half. Gabriel Martinelli hitting the post for Arsenal. I don't actually know how it gets through to Martinelli. I think it does. I think it comes off a Newcastle player. I could be wrong, but it just comes through to Martinelli. He's running 1-on-1, takes the shot, tries to go at the near post, hits the post. I mean, initially I thought it was a bit of a rash finish by Martinelli, but he actually does open up his side foot and try to curl it around the keeper. It's just unfortunate. I think he could have maybe got a little bit closer, but no, Arsenal just couldn't find Arsenal just could not find a goal tonight, and that kind of summed it up. Martinelli hit the post with the first opportunity. Timber had another chance in the first half from a corner where he's got to score. I think Timber has to score this header. It's basically a free header at the back post. I mean, he is slightly leaning back, but I still think you've got to score that. And then the sucker punch game. Isaac in the 38th minute for Newcastle, making it 1-0. Now, what form Alexander Isaac is on? For me, he's arguably player at the moment. Like, he's probably the best player in the league at the moment. I think he was by far the player of the month in December. And he bags again. Now, we all know Arsenal have been wanting a striker. It would not surprise me if they go and get Isaac in the summer. I don't think they'll get him in January, but in the summer, I think this is a definite viable option. And, you know, he scores again for Newcastle. So it's a free kick. Dubravka just boots it up. And this is just about whoever wins the flick on. Newcastle win the flick on with Botman. Comes through to Jacob Murphy. He gets the touch on it into the path of Isaac. And, you know, you can't leave a world-class striker, which Isaac is nowadays, with that much space in the box. Side foots it past David Raya, and Newcastle take a 1-0 lead going in at half-time. Bit against the run of play, little bit against the run of play, I'm not going to lie. Newcastle, they weren't getting battered, but Arsenal were definitely on top, and that goal just would have been a bit of a killer blow. And then straight away, really, in the second half, in the 51st minute, it was 2-0 to Newcastle. Anthony Gordon making it 2-0. Isaac starts off the move, gets it out wide to Jacob Murphy. He plays a lovely ball back into Isaac. Isaac manages to get the shot away. Good save by Raya, but he tips it straight to Anthony Gordon, who gets there ahead of Timber and puts it into the back of the net for 2-0 to Newcastle. And, you know, Havertz had honestly, I don't really want to talk about this chance because it's really embarrassing. And, you know, this is probably why Arsenal need a striker. I don't know how Kai Havertz missed this opportunity, but I was saying in the watch-along, I think 2-0 is game over, and it finished 2-0. So I think that's the tie done. But if Arsenal got that goal and made it 2-1, I think it would have been a completely different second leg at 2-1. I really do. I just think at 2-0, it's a mountain to climb, and they're not going to be able to climb it. But yeah, back to the Havertz chance. Cross gets deflected. The ball's up in the air for about 10 years. He's literally watching it the whole way, Havertz. And he jumps. Ball hits his shoulder and goes wide. It's literally a free header. And he puts it wide from about 6 yards out. Something that summed up Arsenal's game, really. The missed chances they had. But you've got to credit Newcastle for taking theirs. And they take a massive leap. Newcastle, to progress into the Carabao Cup final, which I think they will do now. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the match. Also, let me know, do you think Newcastle will make the final now? And also, let me know, who do you think will win out of Spurs against Liverpool as well? Put that in the comments as well. But guys, if you have enjoyed, make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you later.